Are we going? Is it live? Yes. This Hangout on Air is live. I'm Gayle. Welcome to my channel. It's good to see everybody. We're going to be talking about some travel tips that'll help you get the best deals. But first, I just want to take a second and welcome everybody. This is the first live stream that I've done in a little while. I'm going to try to do them monthly on like the last Sunday of the month, but we'll see. May go a little bit sooner than that. Who knows? I'm just going to kind of wait and see where the road takes me. So I've got a couple of questions that we're going to dive into in just a couple of minutes here. You know, I like answering your questions. I just came back from a really big trip. I haven't added up yet to see how much money I actually spent. I'll get that total to you soon. I did have some help raising the funds for that. It was a church trip, so it was missions oriented. And as you guys know who have been following me, I traveled from East Tennessee to Alaska and even made it back. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I've got some videos that are scheduled that really are going to tell the story better than I can individually, even on one night. So sit back and relax. We're going to hang out for until around 7 o'clock. We'll see how it goes. If it swings farther than that, we'll just see. We'll take it one step at a time, and we'll just take it as it comes. So let's see what we got here. I've got 2 viewers. Hey, and welcome. It's good to have y'all here. So we're hanging out. Oh, I didn't enable chat. That might help. Or did I? Wait a minute. Hey, Lily. Hi, Amber and John. Yes, I am glad to be back home. Hi, Bostar. Hello from Tennessee to Ireland. It's good to see you guys. It is so good to be home where I have stable and secure internet. It's been totally crazy on the trip. Like you expect Starbucks to have stable Wi-Fi? It is so good. Forget it. Home, so once in a while we'd hit a good Starbucks, but not so much. So Amber and John, we are looking for land in Tennessee in the woods. You guys are in, if you guys want to come up my way, right now I was told that we have some of the least expensive land prices in the state. So it might be a good opportunity for you. There are some larger tracts. I don't know how much space you're looking for, but you may be able to find it up this way. So come on and join us up here. And service dog Zoe in training says, I am having stomach pain. Lily, I'm sorry, very sorry to hear that. Is that what's going to keep you off of YouTube for a little while? And are the doctors, what do they say about it? Do you guys know each other, by the way? We have Lily, who's got service dog, Bostar, John Amber Rivers Homestead. If you don't know each other, introduce yourselves. Amber and John, we have actually met. We did, so look for that video. We had an awesome lunch. So that was nice. Bostar, if I ever get to Ireland, I'm going to come and knock on your door. Hey, by Route 00. Okay. Oh, Amber and John, do you know about searching on Bing? Because you can get points on Bing and apply that to a Starbucks. You can earn like up to $5 at a time. But that's how I do Starbucks, and then I get gift cards like birthdays and stuff. So hold on to those. And Lily says that she's very sick and am in very bad pain, and that's why she won't be making any more videos for a while. Lily, I hope they can get to the bottom of that for you, hon. My younger daughter was plagued by a lot of stomach problems, so I understand it can be super rough. But I hope they can get that figured out. So, yeah. Amber and John. John doesn't believe in Starbucks. Okay. John will give you a pass on that one. That's actually one of the ways why I was able to save some money on the trip. And that is because people had given me gift cards to places like Starbucks. The reason is because we thought I was going to have stable Wi-Fi if I could get to the Starbucks. And most Starbucks did, but there's not a whole lot of Starbucks going across Canada, but the gift card still helped. And Lily says, and I'm very tired, but I will be okay, don't worry. Okay, tell you what, Lily, if you go to my About page, you can click the link and you can send me an email and I'll respond. And John drinks, I am not even going to try to pronounce it, for his stomach, and it helps a lot. So I really want to thank you guys for coming in. I was going to do some talking about travel. I didn't know I was going to have such great company, but I thank you. So actually, I've got a thing here I'm supposed to read. Where'd it go? Okay, Heather, you had emailed me asking me to talk for a minute about hotel deals. I've touched a little bit on this before, and that is really on hotel deals. Check online and off. And if you can find it online, you can oftentimes call the hotel if they've got a different price listed at the online than they do locally. Go ahead and give the hotel a call and tell them that you found it and ask them to match it. But it also gives you an opportunity to talk to them about room placement. One of the things that they won't tell you is those very cheapest, least expensive rooms are sometimes near the ice machine or close to the steps or in a noisy part of the hotel. So if you call them and ask them to meet that price, you also have a shot at getting a less expensive room, but in a better section of the hotel. So check online and call the hotel. You also want to call the hotel directly, just in case their prices have changed at the hotel and they've not updated it online yet. Once in a while, that will happen. I also suggest that if you're traveling and it's late at night, make them an offer. If you're, now, don't find a $100 room and offer them 20 bucks. You got to keep it kind of reasonable there. But again, on this trip, I was actually able to save about $18 on one of the rooms because when I went in to sign in for the room, I was like, look, you know, it's late. What can you do to help me out on price? And so it was about an $18 difference that they were able to do, which was really helpful. So, Heather, I hope that helps. And I've got one more here. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I'm sorry. Here we go. This one's on Twitter. And Thomas, thank you for your direct tweet there. Thomas is wanting to know how many miles I drove on the trip to Alaska. He also wants to know about how much I spent. And let's see. Okay, Thomas, I don't know yet how much I spent, but I know it was over $2,200 in gas. But like as far as the other expenses, I'm not sure yet. I haven't added all that up quite yet. I had a budget. I wanted to keep it under $3K, which sounds like a lot. But remember, I was gone for a month. So you got to factor that in. But I'll have that total as soon as I can. Just give me a few more days. As far as the miles driven, I can't give you an exact total on that because I forgot. But I know it's around, I want to say 12,000 and about 300 miles. It was a pretty long trip. So got to do a lot of neat things, go a lot of neat places, but that is on the mileage. And of course, before I went that far, we checked out the van and ran into problems. You can check out the video, but I ran into problems as we were leaving. Had to bring the van back home, get my husband to check it out. He phoned the attorney, phoned the mechanic, and got him on there. So we got some solid advice. Didn't have any more trouble during the rest of the trip. It was great. So we had that assurance there. So there you go. And I don't see any more direct messages on Twitter. So if you do have some, make sure you go ahead and send them in. They don't have to be direct. You can just go ahead and tweet me. And that's, of course, Gayle Crabtree on Twitter. So, yeah, they can be public. You don't have to direct message me. Okay, somebody just came in. Who is in? Robin. Hey, Robin Sadowski. It is good to see you. Welcome to the room. Thanks, Amber. I appreciate that you look for me on Twitter. Yes, some of you guys are in good company and you know each other. Hey, Lily, let me shout you out a happy birthday early, that you'll be 11 on October 12th. That means next year you'll be 12 on October 12th, which is kind of cool. So, but keep me posted about how you're doing, Lily. Just go ahead and you can send me that email and I'll watch for it, okay? And I missed, let's see. Let me back up here just a minute. Okay. Amber says, Gayle, I got a better phone. Next time we go to Golden Corral, I'll do a video. It will make it more fun. Yes, let's do that. That sounds great. And Lily says she has 60 subscribers. That is awesome. If you guys have a chance, go subscribe to her channel. She's going to be 11 in October, so that might make a good gift for her to have your subscription, and it might cheer her up when she's not feeling good. She also says she has 2 cats, and their names are Ray and Hazel. And they're very sweet, too. So if you have a chance, they're on her channel. So go check that out. And John Amber Rivers Homestead says, it's nice here, but we like to be in the woods, becoming a big city. Yeah, I'm surprised every time I go to Fordo on how much it's growing up. But do check out up here because we've got some property in the woods. So, and Amber says she's got a Samsung Galaxy 5S waterproof. Ooh, I like that waterproof idea. I've threatened to put this one in a plastic baggie. It's brand new, and I don't want anything to happen to it. So we'll see. And Lily, who is service dog Zoe in training, says, on September 5, my mom will be 43 years old. Very cool. Happy birthday early to your mom. Very, very cool. Okay. And Lily, did you picked up Zoe this summer, right? Just like last month or so. Am I remembering that right? And how is that going? Okay. And John Amber Rivers Homestead, John says, more and more laws we don't like. I hear you on that one. And I don't know how high the taxes are up here because we're in job provided housing, but I can do some checking around. Surely it's not going to be, if we've got the cheapest land prices in the state, hopefully it won't be high on taxes. And Amber and John Homestead says, the downside is when you unplug from charging, it flashes reminder to cover up the charge port. LOL, it preaches it. Really, that would be a pain. That definitely would be a pain. And Robin says, how are you, Gayle? Hi, Robin. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Still recovering. You're going to see a lot of scheduled videos about my Alaska trip, but so bear with me on that. But yeah, I'm still recovering, but doing good. And Lily at Service Dog Zoe in Training says, good. She is doing amazing on her training. Good for you guys. Now, don't forget, one of the things that our trainers kept really hammering into my head is that they're training us how to work with the dog, or he said he was training me how to work with the dog, that he wasn't necessarily training the dog. And that was a distinction that's been really helpful because of all the follow-up you have to do. Okay. And Robin's doing good, and I am glad, Robin. Now, Robin, your grandson had some problems. I'm pretty sure it was your grandson with his back, a cracked vertebrae or something. Is he doing okay? And Amber and John Homestead, that's awesome service dog in training. Yes, it is. Oh, hey, Amber and John. Turns out the solar panel did great for the trip. No problems so far, but we are going to look at another brand when we upgrade based on what you guys said about the panel. So just thought I'd share that with y'all. And Robin Sadowski says, yes, thanks for asking. Well, I'm glad. I actually put you guys on the prayer list at church for a couple of Sundays because of that, so I'm glad to know he's doing really good. And John says, what do you say? Let me scroll down. I've got to find you, John. Where are you? There you are. John Amber Rivers Homestead says, we like to live off-grid, and sometimes it is hard to find unrestricted. And Amber says, unrestricted, John means. Yes. I don't know that anybody has had problems with solar being restricted here. In fact, the house down the street from us is on solar, but they got, it's the house and solar and everything came together. They had it built, but it was like, pick out this house, pick out solar panels, you're done. And by pick out solar panels, I don't necessarily mean the kind of solar panel choosing that we have done, but more like, this is a kit. It comes with your house. The builder will come in from out of state and will build your house. So they were like, no help on answering questions because they just didn't know what to answer. But I'm going to bet that probably we don't have those restrictions. So I can probably go down, I guess, where would I check for that? Electric company or tax assessor? Help me out there and I'll see about finding out some information for you. And Zoe says, I'm trying to train my dog Samson to be a police dog. He's a German Shepherd and he is 4 years old. And then she says, Tomlin is so cute. Thank you. he knows it too. Don't you, bud? Yeah, you do. He was so funny during the eclipse. We had him outside with the rest of us, and when it started getting dark, he has this nightly routine that he thinks he has to do every time it gets dark. So the sun started going dark. We only had like 2.5 minutes, but I think 30 seconds into the main part of the eclipse, he comes up and he starts nudging my husband to say, hey, it's dark. It's time for my special treat, because he gets that when it's dark. Funniest thing going. So, and of course, since we're pushovers, he got 2 that day. So, BRB, I'll be right back. Yes. And Amber and John Homestead, Amber says, our commissioner is putting so many new laws and regulations on us. No longer allowed to have chickens if you live on 1 acre or less, raising taxes sky high. Ouch. That's not good. That's not a good way to grow your area. Robin, how are property taxes where you are? Are they outlandish? I keep hearing different stories about that. And John says, do you still have the link for the off-grid panels? I think so. I hope so. I'll double check, but I think I do. If not, I will talk to you about that. It may be actually after Christmas before we get a chance to upgrade, just because of finances. And Amber says, it got dark enough here to see a few stars, LOL, and turn a light on. Yes, we had that too. We saw Venus, and then we got some really nice star trails from a couple of airplanes and stuff, and we saw a couple of other stars. So it was good. And John Amber Rivers Homestead says $250 a year here. And somebody else popped up. Okay, hold on. Hey, it's Leslie with Virtue Within. Hey, dear, welcome back. I've missed you. Guess what? I missed you too. So it's good to be back. But you're still, don't get too confused, everybody, because there are still videos that are scheduled about things on my trip. So keep watching for those. I think today's, listen to me, I'm forgetting what day it is. Friday's video was when I went to Bosque del Apache. It's a wildlife refuge close to my daughter Samantha. And it was really neat to see that, because I'm near the foothills of the Smoky Mountains. So we have wildlife refuges here too, and we have the Smokies, but the terrain is so different. It was really interesting getting to see that. And of course, I don't know about you guys, but like the National Park Service and wildlife refuges are just like some of the least expensive places to go when you're on vacation. They're great. And what some people don't know, and I'll just go ahead and put it online here, if you have a disability, you qualify with the national parks for what they call an access pass, ACCESS, access. And so that gets you free entrance for the rest of your life. And then if you know anybody that's a senior citizen, they can get a senior citizen pass, $80, but it's also good for the rest of your life. And with those passes, you can get 3 other people in. So it's really a good deal. And Leslie at Virtual Within says, we've been enjoying those videos. When you travel, it means a lot to me, because these are areas of the world that I may never see, but I get to see them through you, so thank you. Aw, don't give up, Leslie. You never know what the future is going to hold. you know, so don't ever give up when it comes to anything, travel or anything. And let's see, service dog Zoe in training. I only have one friend in life. Lily, I bet you've got more than that. I bet you do, because you've got some friends on YouTube. And granted, we're not like being right there, and we can't be with you, you know, to hold your hand and things like that when you're sad or lonely. But my hunch is that if you have friends on YouTube, you probably are also able to make friends offline. And that's a really good thing. So, yeah, watch out for that. Also, you might be able to talk to some of your guidance counselors at school. They might be able to help with that too. So, like I just told Virtue Within, Leslie, don't give up on friends. I'm good. So, Leslie, you don't give up on travel, and Lily, you don't give up on friends, okay? Yes, you do have some friends on YouTube, so there you go. And Robin says, have a good evening, everyone. Got to finish folding the laundry. Yeah, have a good evening with that, Robin. When you get finished, you can come over here. Just take your little road trip down here, and you can help me fold my laundry too, because I'm trying to ignore it. So, and let's see. And Amber asks, what about people who are on SSI disability? And John says, cool, we can look how to get the pass. It's real easy to get the pass. You just show proof that you have a disability and go into the National Park Service. Now, in your case, possibly Chickamauga, Georgia would be the closest to you. If not, try one of the other national parks and just go in there and tell them you have it. You fill out a really simple form, and there you go. When I went in, the card, I think they only needed like, I want to say they needed to see my Medicare card. It was not something really complicated. So yeah, try that. Because our parks are free here, but some of them are pretty stinking expensive. I just almost had to pay $30 at Glacier National Park, which is still a really good deal. I mean, compare it with like theme parks or dates or anything like that, and you're not going to get by with only spending $30. So having that pass, I just whipped it out and showed it to him, and I used it there. I used it at Valley of Fires and different places, White Sands, New Mexico. If I had had to pay admission to all of those, I never could have done it. So, Amber, I would let you help me with chores. I'm fixing to try to hire somebody actually to help me with that. So, hopefully I can find someone. Let's see. Let me zip back up here. Leslie says, I'm not giving up, dear, just being realistic. And I hear you. But there are ways, like I never dreamed I was going to go to Alaska. Like, well, that's a lie. When I was a kid, I wanted to go to Alaska really badly. And my mom was like, you're not going anywhere and all this stuff, because they were like super negative when I was growing up, with it, which is just like another video. But, you know, a few years ago, in I guess it was 2008, I heard about a mission trip to Alaska. And it was one of those things where it wasn't just something I wanted to do, but it was like I knew I was going to do it. It was just like a non-issue. It's just, I can't explain it, but sometimes in life, there's just something that, you know, you're supposed to do, if that makes sense. And for me, that was the trip to Alaska. Never really thought it was going to be realistic, but it was. And now my daughter and I drove for that one too. That's really what convinced me to go ahead and drive, because once you get to the Canada border, it doesn't matter what happens at home because they cannot get in touch with you. So if the place burns down, somebody else has to deal with it. And God forbid that should ever happen, but you know, it gives you an idea there. So it's a freedom and it's a relaxation. It can still be stressful. Like when we went through part of British Columbia, and the lady that was with me, she looks out her window and she says, "Hey, is that a fire?" And I look out and I'm like, yes, actually, that is a forest fire. We're going to go to the next overlook and see if we can get some information. And sure enough, we were able to do that, and they were able to tell us how to go around it. But that was a pretty stressful moment. But for the rest of it, there were just very few stressful moments, and it's really nice. But anyway, I'm waxing eloquently on that. I'm probably giving away every YouTube video I'm going to make. But just there may be a way. You just never know. And let's see. And Amber says we have a Medicaid card. I don't know if that works or not. Try it. You know, try it. I don't see why it wouldn't. So give it a whirl. You know, the worst thing that happens is the national park says no, but I doubt that they're going to. I was actually, wait a minute. That's tickling a memory. What is it? Okay, that brain cell died. Okay, I'll come back to that because that's tickling a memory. Service dog Zoe in training says, a few days ago, a person said that my service dog was 100% fake, and he said she is not trained to do a task, and it made me cry. It was on my video. And Amber says, service dog in training, don't let them hateful people bother you. You just can't. And John and Amber says, did it get cold in Alaska? And John Amber says, Gayle, what year is the van? Me and Amber have been looking for a van. Okay, so let me back up and try to address all of you guys. First, Lily, people have said that to me about Tomlin too. Do just ignore him. The problem is there are so many fake service dogs out there that it's kind of tainting the world for the rest of us. I went into a restaurant and the server saw Tomlin, and he was underneath the table just like he was supposed to. And the server saw him and he starts backing up. And I told the server, I said, you don't have to be afraid of him. He's just going to lay under the table and that's all he's going to do. And then he was like, we had this person in here. And when he said that, I was just like, oh no, because I knew what was coming next was not going to be good. But come to find out, they had a fake service dog. He said they were feeding it from the table, that the service dog tried to growl at the server. It wouldn't stay put. And I was like, I'm so sorry. This one's real. And I told them where to go online to find out information about real service dogs from the Department of Justice, because they didn't know that they could ask the people to leave because their service dog wasn't behaving. He thought they had to put up with it. And I'm like, no, I don't care what they said about whether or not that was legitimate, but any dog, even a service dog, if it misbehaves, and I would say growling at the server would have to be misbehavior. But I tell them that, you know, they could still ask the person to leave, and he seemed really glad to know that. So, did it get cold in Alaska? You know, actually, Amber, it did not get that cold. Most of the time, it was between 70 to 80 degrees. It was totally crazy. And I will tell you that 2 years ago when John and I went, we drove up to the Arctic Circle and we were wearing shorts. I kid you not. There's a photo of me, I think it's on Facebook page, and I'm actually wearing a short sleeve t-shirt at the freaking Arctic Circle. Totally mind-blowing. John, Gayle, what year is the van? Oh, yeah. The van is a 2006. I don't change vehicles without doing a lot of homework. So I knew kind of what I wanted to pay for it, and I knew roughly how many miles I wanted on it. So it took about a year, but we found it. I set a Google alert, and that was helpful. So we found it, and John started redoing it. It's been great. It's not the most plush van in the world because we had to design it to put like team totes in it for mission trips, because that's why we got it. It works. It's comfortable enough to make me happy, but it doesn't have like the super plush thick carpeting and the nice upholstered walls like some of them do that you buy that are already done. Let's see. Service dog Zoe in training, but she isn't a fake service dog. She is a real service dog, and she is trained to do a task, lots of tasks. I get that, and I do not question that at all. I totally get that. But the problem is when somebody sees a fake service dog acting up, the next real service dog that they see, they automatically think it's fake, even though it's not, simply because of the way other service dogs have behaved. And that's a problem. But don't hear me say that I don't think yours is a service dog. I fully believe yours is a service dog. And I fully believe that yours is trained to do a lot of tasks, but just ignore the haters, okay? And service dog Zoe in training asks, what is your favorite color? Ooh, favorite color. I don't know. You know, that I haven't thought about that in a while. I like a lot of colors. Yeah, let me get back to you on that in just a second, okay? Oh, Amber, now I know what it was that I forgot a minute ago when my brain cell died there. I was actually on getting the pass for the national park. I was actually, when I was in Alaska, we went to a national park, and one of the ladies has a disability, but she didn't have a card or anything to prove it. So they just had her fill out, I want to say it was an affidavit. Anyway, just something saying, yes, I have a, excuse me, sneezing here. But yes, I have a disability, and so she was able to get her access pass that way. So hope that helps. And I guess, Lily, on the favorite color, I'm going to go, it's a toss-up between red and yellow. So I really don't know. Yeah, I'm going to say they're even. So I hope you're okay with me picking two colors out. And hey, Bryn, hi, welcome into the channel. And yes, there are more videos coming. I've actually, the way I went was a little crazy because I went from Tennessee across to New Mexico and then up to like the northwest part of the country, across Canada, and then into Alaska. So I really haven't gotten that many videos actually into Alaska yet, but more definitely are coming. So. And yes, Sean, that is cool. And Zoe said, my cat just got on top of me. Cats do that. Just enjoy it. And Amber says, it can get that warm in the Arctic Circle. Oh, wow, insane. Yeah, I thought so too. I expected it to be cold. I did not expect it to be that hot. But it was like 75 degrees. Like I said, I was wearing a short sleeve t-shirt, and several of the people who were there was a tour group that came in while we were there, and they were mostly all in shorts. It was wow. I'm still speechless over it. But yeah. And John Amber Rivers Homestead is asking, is it a 6 or a V8? John, it's a V8. I wanted something that I could use to pull things up the Rocky Mountains. So what we actually got was the not the Chevy Express 2500. No, not the Chevy Express 1500, but the 2500 that's right in the middle. So it's not a super heavy duty commercial vehicle, but it is a heavier commercial van. The downside of that is that you can't always go to have the alignment done at a regular shop. You have to take it to a specialty place. So that makes the alignment, I think we paid about $20 more than we normally do, like on my PT Cruiser. Also, the tires are more expensive. But you can put more in it. You can handle more weight. Supposedly, I can haul a 10,000-pound trailer or an 8,000-pound trailer. We'll see. I'm probably going to be trying that at some point, so we'll see. And Lily, service dog Zoe in training, says, she helps me with autism and anxiety and seizures and epilepsy. That's actually part of what Tomlin does. I have seizures. I have epilepsy from a head injury. He helps me with that too. And she also says that her favorite color is pink. Pink's a good color. And John Amber Rivers Homestead says, we have a truck camper. And Amber says, I can bring in my prize letter. It shows I'm on disability and disabled. I can bring it too. And John says, that would be nice to get a pass. Something else about that pass, you get a 50% discount usually on camping. So since you guys like to camp, it's also going to save you some money on camping. Now, what it doesn't help with, and it is what they call parking fees. Some national parks, like I just went to Mount Rushmore and they tried to hit me with a $10 parking fee. And I was like, you know, have a nice day. There are other places where I can go to see Rushmore other than right there at the corner at the national park. But the interesting thing was I ran into another YouTuber while I was out there at Rushmore at an overlook. So that was pretty cool. But that $10 fee, it didn't take care of that. But that is the only place that I have been where they tried to charge a parking fee. And so I've been to a bunch of national parks. So one out of dozens, not too bad. Also, that applies to TVA and any of the national type park campgrounds. Most of them will honor it. So like we went to one of the TVA places, I forget, and got the discount, the 50% discount there. And the state of Tennessee also discounts a couple of bucks. And Lily is asking, do you have any brothers or sisters? I have one big brother and two big sisters. Lily, that's pretty cool. I do have one brother. He's a little younger than me, but yeah, I do. And John asks, can we get a fishing pass too? I have no clue. I can't help you on that. I don't own a fishing pole, so I don't know. And Lily says, ow, my cat bit me. Ooh, bad cat. So you may have to go and wash that off or something. I'm not really sure what you do for cat bites. And Amber says, service dog, it sounds like your cat is in a bad mood, LOL. And Lily, service dog Zoe in training, says, my service dog has changed my life. Before I had her, I couldn't go in public. Service dogs are just amazing. So Bryn is asking about the Alaska, and he says, did you go further than Juneau, Anchorage perhaps? I've not been to Juneau yet, but it's like on my ever-expanding list. But what I did was I went to Homer, to the farthest point on the Kenai Peninsula. And so I actually saw the saloon that's down there that's real popular, and Salty Dog Saloon. So I went there and saw that. Went to Seward, which is a coastal town on the Gulf of Alaska, and drove up. I went in and out of Anchorage several times, and I've driven up on Parks Highway up like Denali National Park. I went to Talkeetna and on up to the Arctic Circle. So yeah, a little bit, and it's just an amazing place. You know, I can't even describe the beauty and the variety of, you know, you're down on the Kenai Peninsula and it's all fishing and lots of cute little neat artsy and tourist shops, interesting places to eat. The whole town is just really, I don't have words for it. You know, and the time I went, which was a few weeks ago, the salmon were spawning, so they were actually like jumping out of the water. I got some really bad photos of blurry salmon that were jumping, but it was one of the coolest things. We went to Seward and I took a whale watching tour. I will say that the previous whale watching tour was better because we got to see this huge pod of whales. It wasn't that the team was any different. The staff was just top-notch and excellent both times. And I would recommend Major Marine Tours in a heartbeat. But you can't control the wildlife because they're wild. And last time we went, we saw an enormous pod of about 20 whales. And they kept stirring up the water and eating. And it was just fun watching them. I actually have a short video of that up from last time. It was just amazing. And Anchorage is pretty nice. You know, it's the largest city in Alaska. They've got a couple of Walmarts there where you can pick up some supplies, and I think a Costco and a Sam's. It doesn't have all the name brand restaurants that a lot of cities do, but they're coming in, and they've got a few. So yeah, it's a great place to really dive in and get supplies. It's also the place where people fly in. So, and people will fly into Fairbanks too, but Anchorage is busier. So yeah, and then like I said, we've driven up Parks Highway. So we've been to Willow, we've been to Wasilla, on up to Denali, which Denali is funny. You may actually go to Alaska and never be able to see the mountain called Denali because of the weather patterns around it. It actually forms its own weather phenomenon. So it may be so cloudy you can't see it. So on a good day, if somebody hollers that the mountain is out, grab your camera and go take your photos because you want to get as many as possible right then. And it's gorgeous. So ask any questions that you have. I'll be glad to answer them what I can. So, and Service Dog in Training is saying, what the heck? Now my cat is being nice to me. Animals are like that. And Amber is saying, the furthest north I've been was when I went to Michigan. You know, Amber, that's actually one of the few states I haven't been to yet. One of the very few. I just put a map of that up on my blog. Actually, I'm still writing the post but it'll be up in a couple of hours. broadstravelblog.com. I've got a map up, and it's got, you know, the very few states that I haven't been to yet. And let's see. Lily is saying, my big sister has a baby on the way. The baby will be born in November. It's a boy. That's cool, Lily. So pretty soon we're going to get to say Aunt Lily. And Amber says, John loves fish, but is afraid of store-bought because of the high radiation levels. I don't do fish. Fish is just not my forte. But I will say that I made an exception when I went to Alaska. And it has a different flavor. And Amber says, my stepdad is from Anchorage, Alaska. That's really cool. Really cool. And Lily says, I just told my cat to get down. Okay. I hope your cat listens, Lily, because sometimes they don't. And John says, I am from Michigan. And Amber says, my stepdad said Anchorage, Alaska can see temperatures in the 90s. Is that true? Amber, yes, they can see temperatures that high. In fact, a few years ago, they were sunbathing in Willow, Alaska. Let me see if I can find an article on that right quick to find out what year that was. Willow, by the way, they're about 45 minutes to an hour outside of Anchorage. Now, there are parts of Alaska that have a lot of cold and a lot of snow. It's just that particular time we just hit it. Let's see. Okay, my phone is trying to download. This is a new phone, and it's trying to download an app. So it'll be just a minute before I can get that. Here we go. Fairbanks Daily News Miner. The article is coming in, so we'll give it a second. Says heat bakes interior Alaska, but still lower than the all-time high of 100 degrees. With temperatures reaching in the 90s in several locations across Alaska, including Fairbanks, they ask what was the highest temperature, and it says 100 degrees in Fort Yukon. So yeah, I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. Hopefully that's coming through. I can't tell because I can't see the screen and hold this, because when I go to look at the screen, all I see is glare. But this is actually, okay, this is a 2013 article. But it shows people online here bunching off. So, Service Dog Zoe Training says, my sister has 2 kids and soon she'll have 3. And my dog Samson thinks that he's a wolf. That is so cool. And Bryn says, surprisingly enough, there's a daily flight between Iceland and Anchorage. It's on my list. Think I would fly there and rent a car. That would be my suggestion. Probably. It's going to depend on how long you want to be there. If you're only going to be there a few days, one of the options that you can do is you can fly into Anchorage, and the Alaska Railroad has a stop right there. And you can actually take the Alaska Railroad, and let's say you want to go up to Denali National Park. Denali National Park is also a stop on the Alaska Railroad. So you can go to Denali from the airport. There are hotels there at Denali where you can stay. Most all of them have a free shuttle. And the restaurants there, most of the restaurants have free shuttles. So there's a lot of transportation there. And the shuttles, they'll also take you like over to Denali National Park. And I would recommend, there's two different, well, let me back up. Through the National Park Service, you can arrange for a couple of different tours. They're still provided by a concessionaire. One of them is like a 6-hour tour, and the other one takes like 9 hours. But they really go into the park, and they go a lot farther than what you can get to with your own car, because they actually stop cars at a certain point. So that is a good way to do it. And there's also some private tours, which would be the third option. If I was going to do it and I only had a few days, I would probably do that. Driving, certainly. I think that's awesome. The thing that you get into with driving is there's not so many hotels, but there's a lot of bed and breakfast. So if you drive, do pick up a book on bed and breakfast in Alaska. Also, you can contact the State Department of Tourism, and they'll send you some information on it. You'll have a great time. So, and Lily with Service Dog Zoe says, if I can get 100 subscribers, I will try to go live on YouTube. And she said, my dad has a dog. He is 14 years old, and we've had him for 7 years. That's neat. And Amber with Amber and John Homestead says, me and John went to DeSoto Falls Park in Alabama. I have 2 videos on it. And Lily says, what is your favorite animal? My favorite animal is a lion. Well, Lily, I'd have to say that my favorite animal is right here in the floor, and that would be Tomlin. And Amber says, maybe you and John can go someday. I would love to go to DeSoto Falls Park. I've actually been there, but it's like several years ago. I don't even know if John and I were together at that time. It's been so long. And Bryn says, thanks for the info. Bryn, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have that I can answer. I love Alaska. You could probably tell that. So it's such an amazing place. And you might want to buy some of the souvenirs from some of the local folks. You can get some at the stores like Walmart and Walgreens and stuff. But there's also some, you've got a plethora of museums and art shops and just really neat places where you can also pick up souvenirs. And those spots are not hard to find. And John says, we're by there, which is cool. And Service Dog Zoe says, a few days ago, my dog died. I'm so sorry to hear that, Lily. And Amber says, my favorite animal is cats. And Amber says also, we live close by DeSoto Park. It's a beautiful drive. I love it. I remember it being pretty, and I remember Vogel State Park was gorgeous too. So maybe that's where we should go sometime. Maybe we could just pile in the car and just meet up at DeSoto. So, I set myself a reminder. I was only going to be on here for an hour because I didn't want to take up everybody's time. But I want to thank you all for coming and hanging out. It's been great. And so thank you guys again. If you've got any other questions about anything, just go ahead and send me an email or send me a tweet, and I'll get to those. So again, thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you out and about and online. So y'all take care. Bye. Okay, thanks, Amber. I'll look for that Facebook message. Okay, I just saw that pop up. So thanks again. Bye.